Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be closing out my weekly budget. So this was the budget that we created last week. If you missed that video, I will link it above so that you can catch up. But every single week I create my budget and we basically split up all of my spending into what I'm going to spend with our debit card and what I'm going to spend in cash. And so within this video, I wanted to show you what it looks like to close out the budget, to look at all of our expenses, to see how we did for the week. So just for an overview, we had a couple of bills to pay last week. This was payroll and the previous balance. These are the bills that we had to pay. I split up my spending into my debit card spending, which was $350, and then my cash spending, which was $260. So that gave me a total of $600 here. And then I had an additional extra debt payment that I was going to be making, and my miscellaneous buffer, and what we were going to be putting in short-term savings. So let's go ahead and close everything out. I already added in my income numbers because I knew them as soon as I got paid. And now I'm just going to check and make sure that all of my bills were covered. The first one was one that I had to pay, but everything else was automatically drafted from our account. I'm just looking in the bank account to make sure that these amounts actually hit, and I do see the transfer in here, so both of those came out. Netflix is in here as well. Navient is in here. There's only one that I don't see, which is our home alarm. So let me check on that one really quick. And I just checked the account. I forgot that they did give us a credit for 1 month. So it's actually going to be 0 because we didn't have to cover it this month. So let me add all of this up. So my total was actually $939.93. A total of $1,187.27. And now we're going to look at how we did with our variable expenses. So with my variable expenses, I was keeping track on my expense spreadsheet. So let me zoom you out so that you all can see. I have my expense tracker in my budget planner, and this is where I'm keeping up with all of the expenses that I have for the week. So I started off at the beginning of the week, and then I kind of wrote a little summary here so I wouldn't have to keep adding them all up. So I'm going to get out some highlighters so that I can kind of keep track of where I am. We're gonna use yellow. I don't think this is the same yellow, but that's fine. We're just gonna keep with food in yellow. So this was the total at the beginning. Now all of this are debit cards, so this is debit card spending. And then I'm going to have to summarize it or compare it to my cash spending so that we could see in total how we did. So we added up all of the food in yellow, and then I'm going to do blue for personal, which I don't think I had any additional personal expenses, no. And then we're going to do purple for travel. And then our shopping is in pink. Now I had to do some additional deposits. This happens a lot of times when, once again, I have my card, I don't have cash, and basically I will move money over and then I will replace that money with my cash. So it looks like I deposited $300 into this account. We have 100 here, 50 here, and then another 150. So we will need to add those into there as well. So now let's add up my debit card spending for each item. So our total for food, we had a subtotal here, 383. So I was thinking of putting this Walmart purchase into my next week, and I think I'm going to do that because this is actually groceries for the very next week. So I'm not going to include it into this week. I believe I'm going to take that out of next week's money. Yes. So food total is $473.02. And then shopping is $23.28. We didn't really do, I think I did a little bit more shopping with my cash. Personal, $7.68. And then travel is $45. So that makes my total $548.98. But this was, once again, just my debit card spending. So I also need to add in my cash spending. So we're gonna go to my monthly budget check-in page, and then I'm going to add in the first start of this paycheck. So this one was 2/3/29. This is Friday to Thursday. So my total spent on my debit card was $548.98. And then we're gonna also do cash spending. So I gotta pull out my cash to see how we did. Gonna move over the receipts, and this one should have a balance of $29 in here. So let's see. Yes, we have $29 from this one, and this was my food. So I'm gonna add my cash spending at the top here. And I can actually just add up how much I spent, 9 and 22. So it's $31 on food. And then this one should have $164 in it. So, yep. So we're gonna take this cash and move this over to my next envelope. And for this one, we spent $56. So my total for my cash spending is $87. And we're going to add that here. So now when I get ready to stuff for next week, I have my cash here that I'm going to use to stuff my envelopes for next week. And so we will do that in another video. We have the totals of what we spent right here. So I'm going to add that up. And it was $635.98. So I'm gonna put this in another color, right? So this was week 1, and I actually went over $35.98. Okay, let's take out this page and come over here for a second. For my food spending, this one seems like it was the one that was the most over. We spent $200 on the groceries, but we went way over with eating out, an additional $200, which we had a couple of events that we had to go to, but I do think that $100 for us might be too low, so I'm going to adjust that for next week. For gas, we had $100, but we actually spent $45. For personal, we ended up spending, it was $56 in cash and $7.68 on the card. So that was $63.68. And for shopping, we had $40 and we spent $23.28. Just adding them up, $635.98, which was $635.98. That's the total. So we're gonna add that here and then subtract that from my total here. 27 minus 635.98. $551.29. And then we move that over here. Subtract the $350. And that's $201.29. We did do the $150, and my buffer is actually $51.29. My income was the same. Expenses we're a little bit different. So that is that. So how does this work with the cash? So this cash spending was actually already included in here, because when I added up my credit card spending and my cash spending, I totaled everything up to this one number, which is the $635.98, and I showed that I went over $35.98. But that's including this cash as if I spent it on the card instead of in cash. So what I'm going to do is when I get paid next week, I'm not going to take out as much as I did in cash. I'm not going to take out the $260. I'm going to take out $260 less this amount. So it's going to be less this cash so that I am staying on track with the budget. So it's almost like as if I deposited this money back and then took out a new set of money. So that's basically how I'm going to do it so that this is correct. And that is how I'm closing out my budget. So this is week 1 and week 2, we go here, 3 and 4, and this was the complete week 1. So this is actually week 2 now, because I just added in this expense, but that's going to roll over to the next week. And once again, this is going to be for groceries. So when I add it into our budget, I will already basically list this out as spent as well. So that will be there. So that's it. We have week 1 here, week 2 will be here, and then we'll use the back for week 3, and I'll be able to keep up with everything that's happening. This is my first week, and then we will do the next week. So I hope that this video has helped you, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, keep organizing your life so you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.